Hello everyone, this is Yogita Singh from Relishdelishcakes and today I am going to show you how to make homemade fondant. Believe me, in this past 12 years I have not used any ready-made fondant. I always make my own fondant and it is so easy to make. So I'll show you the easy to use techniques. So just follow this and I'm sure this will definitely help you to make your own soft and pliable fondant. I'm making half recipe of fondant. So this is the gelatin which I soaked about 1/8 cup of water because I'm following the half recipe. This I soaked. First you have to soak it and then you have to boil it in double boiler. Always boil it in double boiler, and once it's fully melted, see it's almost done, just few grains of gelatin, so let it be melted properly and then you warm it in double boiler and then add liquid glucose into it. Go with the recipe, whatever is written in the recipe, just go with the recipe. Now I am adding liquid glucose into it. After this gelatin is melted, then only you add the liquid glucose, and I am following half recipe. So this is half cup, I have taken half of it. The recipe, full recipe is written, it's half cup. So I have taken half of the half cup, that is 1/4 cup of liquid glucose. Since the water is warm, it will be melted immediately. Once it's melted, now you add your glycerin into it. Glycerin is written 1 tablespoon, so I'll take half tablespoon of it. Alright, and then the veg shortening. Veg shortening is the homemade butter or homemade ghee. Don't use a salted butter because the salt oozes out water, so your fondant will become watery if too much moisture is there. Don't use a salted butter. So I'm using this homemade ghee only because I don't have butter. I made the ghee with that, so I'm using the homemade ghee, 1 tablespoon. Because if you want to add any flavor, see, I'm adding pineapple flavor into it. I'm just adding half teaspoon for half recipe. If your recipe is full, you can add 1 full teaspoon of any flavor. Okay, now this liquid is ready, and now we are going to knead our icing sugar. So this is our sieved icing sugar. This is 4 cup of icing sugar because I'm following the half recipe. This is a sieved icing sugar. Always sieve your icing sugar. And now I'm adding tylose powder into it. So I'm adding just half teaspoon of it. You can add some more if you feel that it is still moist. You can add tylose afterwards, but don't use too much of tylose. Just use a pinch. If the weather is dry like in Delhi or some place, don't use tylose. Now I'm adding this. Liquid has to be warm. If it is not warm, just keep it in double boiler again. Now make a well and pour all the liquid into this icing sugar. And now you start kneading it with your hands. Now you knead it properly. If it is too dry, if it is looking dry, just add drops of water, not too much, just 1 drop at a time, and you start kneading it. Because if you see it is too dry, because some of the water get vaporized when you warm the water, so it becomes little dry. I'll add some little water into it, which is left in the bowl, and then you add, I've just added 2 drops, and you knead it again. Want to add color, you can add color now only, or if you want to keep it into fridge, you keep it white only. If you want to use it after 2-3 days, keep it in a sealed container, wrap it in a cling wrap, and then you keep it in a sealed container and keep it in fridge. Now you can see it's almost done. All the sugar has been gathered, and now you just have to knead it till it is pliable. Your fondant should not stick with your hands, and it should not stick with the plate. That's the beauty of fondant. If it's sticking with your hands, add some more icing sugar into it, but don't add tylose into it. Just add about 1/4 teaspoon of tylose for half recipe. If you are making one full recipe, add half teaspoon of tylose into it. Your fondant is ready. You can see that. How to check your fondant? You just press it at the edges like this, and there should not be any crack at the edges. If the crack is coming at the edges, that means you have to knead for some more time. Alright, now your fondant is ready. I'll keep it in a cling wrap, and just before using, I'll add color into it.